Hello everyone, this is Angela here, and tonight I'm going to be talking about the narcissistic personality disorder. And tonight's topic is going to be about the narcissist's grandiosity and delusions, and how they have unlimited the symptom of narcissistic personality, where they dream of unlimited success and uh, brilliance, and just different things that are completely delusional and non-reality. And I just want to really show people what this is and see if you guys can identify what this is with the narcissist in your life. Okay, so I'm going to start with my mother. Okay, and I want to start by reading this card that our neighbor Tito back in 2009. Okay, now Tito, for those of you who are new to my channel, was the neighbor that lived across the street from our house, and he was feeding my mother's narcissism, her delusions of grandeur. And so he sent her this Mother's Day card that was totally inappropriate, and it shows you that he fed her grandiosity. Okay, so I'm going to show this to the camera. Okay, and you could see where it's a very tender Mother's Day card, and I'm going to read to everybody what it says on the front. It said, "Mother, your love means so much. No love on earth can ever compare to the love in a mother's heart." And then when you open this up, it says, "You've always been the one to take care of me, to guide me through all of life's twists and turns, to let me know that I was completely and unconditionally loved. I will never be able to thank you enough for all you've done for me. Happy day, happy Mother's Day. I love you. From your son, Tito." And you can see this here where it says your son, Tito. Okay. This is not inappropriate, and this is not appropriate, and not only is it not appropriate, I'm going to show you, everybody, how this is a very grandiose thought that my mother had, which all comports to the narcissistic personality disorder. This is the reality of my mother right here. See this? Okay. I'm sorry that, like, I just don't have the ability or technical savvy to scan this in and show the audience, like, through a slideshow, what this is. And this is my mother's house. This is how she kept the house. She was a very bad hoarder and a very bad child abuser. And she clung to this neighbor because he fed her grandiose delusions. Okay, my son Patrick doesn't understand narcissistic personality disorder. And for those of you who saw that series of my reunion with my narcissistic mother, he was saying to my mother that he brainwashed her. Well, no, he didn't. He fed her delusions, okay, because that's the way she saw herself, which is egocentric, it's non-reality, and this is all comports to the posturing that the narcissist does, the covert narcissist. She's a covert narcissist. And another thing I want to comment about my reunion with my narcissistic mother was one of the commenters had really blasted me and felt that I was very disrespectful to my mother, and said that I should that someone should smack the gum right out of my mouth, and just really a nasty comment. I'm not going to repeat the person's name. You could all go back and look at it yourself. I think it's either on Narcissistic 2 or 3. And it just goes to show you that for those who just looked at the video series without really understanding or knowing narcissism or knowing my channel, how easy it is for the covert narcissist to fool the world. They can put on a show like they're so tender and loving, and it's not the case whatsoever. So moving on from this, okay, I just want to say that the reason why I chew gum is because I have very bad anxiety due to narcissistic abuse, and it's just my way of decompressing my anxiety when I have to cope with things concerning my mother and other things in life. And it was also the way I stopped smoking, okay? So I see that this is something that I got to work on myself, to where I didn't realize that the camera was going to pick that up. And it is what it is. I can't change that. And so I'm going to just move on. The next example that I want to give to everybody of the narcissist's grand delusions is one of my ex-boyfriend who I'd lived with for 2 years. When he was young, okay, in his 20s, he had done some high school theatrics and did some minor acting. And when we were together, he had always postured himself about acting and how he wanted to get into acting. And I felt that that was completely non-reality, considering that he was a man in his 40s. He did not go to college for acting. He does not speak English that well, and here I come to discover, like long after he's not in the picture anymore, he put a bio of himself up on IMDb, which is a bio about actors, saying that he's fluent in English, Spanish, and Italian, and he can't even spell the word Garcia. He spelled his name, his character name Garcia, last name as Gracia. I mean, another thing is, okay, so let me explain how he's very grandiose. He did some minor acting, like it would be like one of these people that are on one of these haunted hay rides, and you have these actors acting as these creatures that scare people. It's all part of a show, and he does some minor neighborhood acting, but he postured himself up to be a Hollywood star and actor, and he actually believes that. And see, somebody like this is extremely gullible, is going to end up falling down a very bad rabbit hole, to where these talent, these places that are going to be like, yeah, you should get some acting lessons, and he could fall down that and invest all this money in something that he obviously is not qualified for. It's like they live in a non-reality world, these people. They don't see reality for what it is, okay? Getting back to my mother was quite clever. When she first saw the card, she knew who that card was from, because she became very emotional, and her emotions at that point were genuine when she looked at the card. And then when she was confronted with how this was all lies and delusional, she pulled the dementia act and said, oh, I don't know. Oh, where did you get this? I don't remember this. She knew exactly what it was. And you want to know how I know? Because prior to that reunion and the events leading up to that reunion, my disabled sister Geraldine, was going to the nursing home, having visits with my mother, and all my mother did on every visit was request to see this guy Tito. So she knew exactly what the relationship was, and she can't handle the reality of who this man is and what this is about. She can't handle the reality for who she is. just like this other guy, he can't handle the reality of who he is either. And ultimately, their delusions of grandeur usually leads them down a path to where they blow themselves up, okay? And unfortunately, those people who are conned by these delusions, like in the case of my ex, to where people are going to actually believe that he's an actor or whatever, and he cons them into investing money in him getting acting lessons, no. They're quite charming, they're quite seductive, and they will take you down a bad path if you don't understand what this is. And eventually you do catch on that you're dealing with somebody who's basically full of shit. So that's all for this one, everybody. Have a good day.